Hey everybody, my name is Calissa Knipe and I'm a certified health coach with Optavia, and I'm coming here to you on a day that I hit a milestone that I wanted to share with you all. And I've been on the 5-in-1 program for 9 months and 3 days. And when I started this program, I was 263.9 pounds. I'm 5'3", so I was significantly overweight. And I've been on plan for 9 months, and I today hit 100 pounds down. To be exact, it was 101.4 pounds down. And that was a big milestone for me because I've been working toward that for 9 months. And to know that I'm there, I can't believe it. I'm in the 160s now, and that's insane to me. And so I know a lot of you that are doing Optavia or even thinking about it are like, how do you do that? That's a lot of weight in 9 months. And there are people that lose even more than that in 9 months. So today I wanted to talk about fat burn. We all talk about fat burn, and it's kind of an elusive thing if nobody ever explains it to you. It's like, what is fat burn and how do I get into it and how do I stay in it? So fat burn is what we're aiming for if you're on the 5-in-1 program. Okay, that's the only program that Optavia provides that is going to get you into a state of fat burn. Okay, there are other programs that people may need to do that avoid the state of fat burn. Okay, but today we're talking about 5-in-1 plan. And fat burn is a great place to be. Most people notice that they have more energy in fat burn. They usually sleep better, and the hunger between fuelings decreases. Most people in fat burn feel better. They might get hungry, but it's usually around the 2 to 2.5 hour mark, which is right when it's time to eat again. And so it's really bearable. So fat burn's a great place to be. But how do you get there? What does it mean? A lot of people don't understand. Another thing that I find clients struggle with is, why can't I have bread and pasta? Why can't I have whole grain pasta? Isn't that healthy? Why can't I have fruit? Fruit's a healthy food. What's wrong with fruit? Why can't I have alcohol? Come on. If I have whatever, I think tequila and vodka don't have carbs or something. Why can't I have that? So I'm just going to talk about the science behind this program, this wonderful program that we're all doing, because there is a reason, and often understanding the reason helps you accept it and you don't get so annoyed. And I'm a nerd. I'll just own it. I love science. I think it's amazing. And this is my favorite part of the program. My co-coach, Hillary, her favorite part is the support. She talked about the support through her whole program. This is so amazing to have a coach. But for me, it's fat burn. I just think it's so cool. So that's what I want to tell y'all about. Okay, the science behind it is that as humans, 4 fuels in our body. Okay, the first fuel is sugar that we eat, like the sugar you just ate. The second fuel is glycogen. Glycogen is sugar that is stored in your body. Okay, anytime you eat sugar, you're not going to utilize all of it right away, so some of that gets stored as glycogen for access for when you need it. The third fuel in your body is fat, and the fourth fuel is muscle. So all of those items can be used as fuel. Okay, the very first fuel is going to be your sugar that you immediately ate. Next is going to be glycogen. You're not going to move to fat and muscle until you burn through all that sugar, because fat and muscle are a slower release of fuel. Okay, and when you're walking around, you need fuel right then. So what this program does, and what Dr. Anderson's research figured out, was what do our bodies need to consume in order to fuel us properly and nourish us without putting us into starvation mode, but also without storing sugar. Okay, it's like a balance beam. So fat burn is like a balance beam. This is what I explain to clients. You're trying to walk a balance beam to stay into this fat burning machine. Okay, the reason that we have you eat every 2.5 to 3 hours is because it keeps your blood sugar really stable, but also it provides you with the fuel you need for up to 3 hours. That's what the fuelings have determined. That's what they provide, is the amount of nutrients that you need to fuel you for up to 3 hours. Let's say you go past 3 hours. You're at work, you're busy, you go 4 or 5 hours. What happens in your body is your body says, wait a second, where is my fuel? You've been feeding me every 3 hours with exactly what I need, and all of a sudden you're not. Where is my fuel? What happens in your body is that it's going to kick over into starvation mode. That's one side of the balance beam. Okay? You're going to kick over into starvation mode, and you're going to start to store fat instead of burn it. And the reason for that is that think about starvation mode. Fat is a protector. Fat is an insulator. Our bodies hang on to fat when they feel threatened. Okay? If you're in starvation mode, if your body is not properly fueled, it says, wait a second. I don't know what's happening. I need to hang on to this fat because I'm not sure when she's going to feed me next. She's been so steady, and all of a sudden now she's not feeding me. And so that's the side of the balance beam that's starvation mode. Another way that you can fall into that side of the balance beam is if you don't measure your lean and green properly. I know it's a learning curve to weigh your food or to use measuring cups. Weighing your food is the most accurate, if we're going to be honest. But the reason that is recommended is for fat burn, because the research of the program has determined what amount of protein and certain vegetables is needed to keep you in that fat burn state, okay? If you eyeball your veggies or you eyeball your protein, there's a chance you're either going to get too little or too much. What happens when you get too little? You're going to go in starvation mode. It's not enough fuel. That's the science behind the program, is they have figured out what we need, okay? Let's say you eyeball your protein and you choose way too much steak, or you choose way too much veggies, which usually people err on the side of too little, but still it's a possibility that you'll get too much. What happens then? You're going to go on the other side of the balance beam, okay? You're going to go into storing sugar mode. When you take in exactly what you need to burn, you're going to burn it. You're not going to store it, right? If you store it, your body says, look, I have glycogen. Yay, I don't have to burn fat anymore. So it's going to start burning that glycogen because that's an immediate fuel. It can access it right away, okay? It's going to burn glycogen prior to burning fat. That's just how our bodies work, okay? So in order to stay in fat burn, you've got to weigh your lean and green. You've got to eat every 3 hours, okay? You've got to eat 5 fuelings every day. I don't care if you ate your lean and green at 7:30 p.m., it's 8:30 p.m., and you're exhausted, you just want to go to bed. Eat your last fueling. It doesn't matter. You've got to get 5 fuelings in a day. If you don't get your 5 fuelings in, your body is not properly nourished. Okay, that's the science behind the program. You will go in starvation mode and you will fall out of fat burn. That's just the simple truth of it. So eat your 5th fueling. It doesn't matter if it's a little bit on the early side in that rare occasion because your body needs it. Okay? Another thing to talk about is the bread and the fruit and the alcohol. How come we can't have those? You know, y'all are mean coaches. We're really not. We're just trying to get you to your goal as, efficiently as possible. And we believe in the science. And so what happens when you eat bread, pasta, fruit, any of those items are too high in carbohydrates to keep you in that fat burn state. So what happens is when you eat those items, you're going to store glycogen. What happens when you store glycogen? You burn that instead of fat. Thus, it's taking you out of the fat burn state and you're burning sugar instead, okay? Now, whenever you store glycogen, it takes time to burn through that again. That's why there's that little detox phase that we all talk about. When you first start program, it's normal to have that for about 3 days, 3 to 4 days, okay? For about 3 to 4 days, you're going to be burning through all the stored sugar we have in our bodies. Everybody has a lot because we live in America. We eat a lot of carbs. So it's going to take you a few days to burn through that sugar. You might feel a little crummy, little headaches, nausea. Those are all normal symptoms, okay? After about 3 to 4 days, if you are on plan 100%, you will have burned through your glycogen and you will become a fat burning machine. Who wants to be a fat burning machine? I love it. It's what got me here. Another thing that I want to talk about real quick is the idea of burning fat instead of muscle, okay? We don't want to burn our muscle. We're getting 100 grams of protein a day on the 5-in-1 plan. We're going to maintain our muscle mass. if we follow the plan. And what that means is not going in starvation mode. Hello, if you go in starvation mode, what happens to your body? Like I said, we're going to hang on to fat. Well, what's going to happen? You're going to burn muscle. Why is that? In starvation mode, your body says, well, I'm starving. There's no way I should be doing exercise right now, so I don't need this muscle. I need fat to protect me. I don't need muscle, because this girl better not be exercising if she's in starvation mode. So that's why starvation mode burns muscle. Okay, so we don't want that. We don't want starvation mode for a multitude of reasons. First, it's going to burn your muscle. Second, it's going to take you out of fat burn. And it's just not good for you. So that's another little aspect of starvation mode that we want to avoid. If you're staying in fat burn, your muscle is protected. Okay, what's going to happen is you're going to burn that fat off of that muscle, and all of a sudden, your muscle's going to pop. And you're going to look like you've been in a gym, even though you haven't, because we all know we're not supposed to exercise on 5 and 1. Now, one more little thing is why not exercise? So exercising is going to throw you into starvation mode, okay? For 2 reasons. We're not taking in enough calories to sustain exercise, first of all. Secondly, we don't have any glycogen stores. Glycogen is what our bodies need to use for exercise. Remember I said that's your immediate fuel access. When you need fuel quickly, you're going to access glycogen, okay? When you're in fat burn, you don't have any glycogen. And so all you have is that slow release of fat or muscle. Neither of those are substantial for exercise. You will get lightheaded. You will feel like you're going to pass out, okay? So don't exercise on 5 and 1. I know it's hard to believe, but it's true. If you love exercise so much that you just don't want to give it up, talk to your coach, okay? Because there are plans that we can do to help you be in a state of fat burn and still exercise. Okay, so it's an option, but it is going to slow your weight loss. So just be aware that the most efficient is to not exercise and follow the 5 and 1 plan to a T. Whatever your coach tells you, do it. Trust us. We've been doing it ourselves. And there is science behind this that we want you to know about, and that's why I'm doing this video. Okay, you can walk. You can do light yoga. Just don't get your heart rate up. You don't want to get your, start sweating and get your heart rate up because you just do not have the fuel for that. Okay? When you move into transition after you reach your goal weight, you will start to store glycogen again, and you can start to lightly exercise. Okay? The key for exercise is that you don't want to be in a state of fat burn when you exercise unless you're making those changes that you need to talk to your coach about. Okay? Because we'll have alternate energy sources that we'll tell you about. Okay? So that's the balance beam of fat burn. That's how you need to stay in it. 5 fuelings every day. Never go past 3 hours without fueling your body. One of those intervals, it can be any interval, breakfast, lunch, or dinner, needs to be a lean and green meal. Lean portion of protein according to the guide. And 3 servings of certain vegetables. Okay? Remember, certain vegetables are not approved for the same reason that bread and fruits are not approved. They're too high in carbohydrate to keep you in that state of fat burn. Okay, so there's a reason. We're not just telling you can't have stuff. We want you to be in fat burn. Okay, that's our goal for you. Alcohol is a tricky one. I just want to touch on it real quick. There are alcohols that don't have carbohydrates, and people get hung up on those because they don't have carbs. So how can you tell me they're going to take me out of fat burn? So your liver recognizes alcohol as a toxin. And your liver says, ooh, I need to burn through this before fat. I need to burn through this alcohol. Your liver is going to metabolize that alcohol before it metabolizes fat. And so that's why any alcohol is not approved on the 5 and 1, because that is yet another way that you'll get out of fat burn. Okay? Just a tip. So anyway, I hope this helps y'all. It helps me to remember the science and know why I'm doing what I'm doing. Because, anytime you know why, it helps you with your goals and your motivation. So I hope this helps all of you. Get in fat burn if you're on the 5 and 1. Try to stay there and enjoy the effects because you'll feel great. Okay? And any questions you have, feel free to post on this video and I'll answer them, or any other coach will answer. Okay? Y'all have a great day. Thanks for celebrating with me. I'm super excited to be 100 pounds down. Okay? Thanks, y'all. See you later.